think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If he's not jabbing, he has no defense. If he's not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right in on him like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Well, he was really basic, you know.
I think it's the wrong move, but he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys.
How did you go back in the 60s? Yeah, well, listen, Canelo is big. And shout out to Crawford stepping up. But does Crawford have to be worried about more things than just boxing?
Mike Tyson praises Canelo Alvarez and highlights his techniques, saying that Canelo's style is sharp, powerful, and built to break down opponents. Tyson warns that Terence Crawford is stepping into dangerous territory, facing a fighter with Canelo's precision and knockout power.
Plan's going to outbox Canelo Alvarez, Mike.
No, he's going to get so
He's a friend of ours, so I hope he.
Look how
Oh,
pretty
he's
he
your
is.
friend. You're going to his funeral.
Pretty. He's white. He can box. He's slick.
He looks like some Floyd Mayweather shit.
Look at him. Look
at him.
Slick.
Wait till that mother start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit
different.
that mother body. Oh.
Look how slick. Mike, look how slick he is.
Oh, he's going to get.
Caleb buried his daughter when she was 2 years old.
Yeah.
He's got that killer attitude.
This is some bullshit. Caleb, your white ass. Woo!
Again, that's part of the marketability.
Oh yeah,
The complexion is white. It's not. You're not used to seeing somebody like that do that well.
He got the complexion for the protection, but he's gonna be in some shit. This Mexican.
Bill Haney views the upcoming clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford as one of the rarest moments in boxing where two generational talents meet head-on. According to him, both fighters are already established as greats in their own right, and picking between them is nearly impossible until they share the ring. From one side, Canelo's dominance across multiple weight classes has solidified his reputation as a complete fighter who can adapt against different styles. On the other side, Crawford's rise through divisions with an undefeated record and precise technical skills highlights his own greatness.
Canelo Crawford, what's your breakdown of the fight?
Huh?
Canelo against Crawford, what's your breakdown?
Man, when you talking about these big fights, you whispering. You talking, huh? You said Canelo and Crawford?
Yeah.
Man, come on, man. That's the biggest fight, you know what I mean, in boxing right now. Canelo and Crawford. Crawford stepping up. Man, it's so big, you got Muhammad over there saying something about it. That's how big it is. It came off the bench from the 60s, right, Muhammad? You go back in the 60s? Yeah, well, listen. Canelo is big. And shout out to Crawford stepping up. But does Crawford have to be worried about more things than just boxing? Absolutely.
Let's go.
I didn't say he has to do any accusing, nor we would do that, but I'm saying is, let's worry. If you watch what happened to Devin, Devin just came out and said the damage is done after the fight. You can never go and repair that. So let's be cautious, let's be prepared, and at the very least, join 365 VADA, 365 drug testing like Devin is doing.
Mike Tyson did not hold back when discussing Crawford's chances against Canelo Alvarez. Standing alongside the Mexican superstar at a press conference, Tyson argued that Crawford is simply too small to realistically compete at this weight. He insisted that boxing fans might want to see courage and ambition, but when it comes down to physicality, the size gap matters. Tyson's words cut deep because they come from one of the most feared fighters in
Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion.
Abel Sanchez, known for guiding Gennady Golovkin during his peak years, voiced strong skepticism about Crawford's ability to handle the challenge ahead. His reasoning is rooted in weight class history. Sanchez reminded fans that Crawford has never fought at this level before, and moving up comes with huge risks. He drew attention to Dimitri Bivol, who is a natural light heavyweight, and still had to dig deep to beat Canelo. Despite having advantages in size and style for Crawford, who has not fought anyone at this weight, the gap is even greater. Sanchez's doubts emphasize the reality that skill alone does not erase physical limitations.
Ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that moving up in weight without having fights to merit that, I think it's the wrong move. But he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys. Nobody's hurt him. Nobody's heard of him. He's fought the biggest punch. He fought Gennady. Come on, he fought Gennady twice, really the good fights, and then Bivol couldn't. Bivol hit him with everything and couldn't hurt him. So how's Terence gonna do that? I don't think he can. I see Canelo going away maybe in a 16-12, 17-13 kind of fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo, or a little harder for Canelo because of the speed. But once he assimilates, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the first 3 or 4 rounds where Kell was fast. But Terence is going to expose himself when he throws his punches, and Canelo's going to finally get this timing down, and I think we'll be able to control the fight.
Show the adult expressed a conflicted stance, revealing that while he personally supports Crawford and hopes for his victory, his knowledge of the sport forces him to acknowledge the uphill battle. He made it clear that boxing cannot be judged on emotion alone. Facts and history matter. Crawford's skill set is extraordinary, but when analyzing size, weight, and experience, the equation tilts toward Canelo. This reflects a broader truth about boxing analysis. Fans may wish for one outcome, but must accept the realities of the matchup.
People forget Canelo got skill. We're going to talk about that. No. As a Bud fan, I would love for him to have a tune-up. I agree. Yeah, listen, I want Bud to win, but because I'm too old. We're talking about age. I'm too old to think something's going to happen because I really, really want it. I've been living on this earth for too long to start believing that shit. I felt that way at 9 years old. But shit don't happen because I just really, really want it. I can't say it. Let me see. You got to play the Damon Wayans smart clip. Yeah, you're right. Yes. Let me see. Do people really believe Bud is going to stop or knock out Canelo? Yes, they do. Name the last boxer to do that. They believe it, brother.
Boxing coach Dion Elam made his prediction with certainty. Canelo Alvarez will win. He pointed to Canelo's history of sparring with and fighting much bigger men as a key reason for confidence. Elam noted that Canelo has absorbed heavy punches from naturally larger fighters and continued to march forward, a quality that cannot be overlooked when discussing a matchup against a smaller opponent. Crawford, for all his technical brilliance, has never been tested in that way. Elam's reasoning reflects a hard truth. Durability and experience against power matter as much as skill. By highlighting Canelo...
How do you see it ending?
Canelo is still one of my favorite active fighters. A lot of people are going to judge and say things about his last fight. I understand he didn't cut the ring, all these different things. I think everything will be the intensity, everything is going to pick up because it's being Crawford. And I think Crawford, I know he's definitely not going to box like that, dancing around, moving around. He's going to move his feet. I think Canelo wins the fight. I think the weight does play a factor by him coming up, putting on all that weight. Canelo's been up there. He's been in the ring with serious punchers before and been hit clean by those guys, clean on the chin, didn't budge, didn't break. I don't see Crawford having that type of punching power like what was it, Bivol? Triple G, guys like that. So I think that for me, I think if Canelo Crawford has to box and not care to want a crowd please. He has to stick and move. If he sits there too long with Canelo, I think Canelo, his defense is great. He'll be able to withstand it and take him in deep waters and win the fight.
Besides being a boxing coach, you're an expert in strength and conditioning.
Yes, sir.
Crawford never fought more than 154. Mm-hmm. Do you think bulking up, obviously he's bulking up, we're seeing the picture, he's moving up from 147, 54, 60, 68. He's going to gain 15, 20, 30 pounds.
For sure.
Will that slow him down by around 5, 6, 7? The heart, the muscle, the oxygen you take. I mean, if your body's not used to fighting it at that size, it doesn't not make a difference.
It depends on what type of strength and conditioning you're doing too, though. So like when you do like explosive stuff and things like that, plyometrics is different. But he has to bulk up, so he has to lift a little bit of weight. I'm pretty sure he has people with the knowledge and the proper money that he has to get the right people to do the right things. But I still think that putting on that much muscle mass is going to be effective when it comes, like you said, the oxygen to the blood.
So he could gas out halfway through, or maybe stay at the lower weight class. Don't bulk up and just be yourself.
Yeah, true. But I think because his fight is at what, 68?
But Canelo's not gonna be 168 on fight night.
Hell no, he's gonna be almost like 180 something, probably almost 90 something. So that's gonna be a difference. That's almost like when Canelo fought Belanga. He was like, what? He had to be like damn near 200 pounds.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia raised important concerns about how Crawford's preparation could affect him negatively. He explained that putting on too much weight quickly can strip a fighter of their natural gifts, particularly speed and sharpness. For Crawford, whose timing and reflexes are crucial to his success, this could be costly. Garcia also rejected the idea of comparing Crawford to Floyd Mayweather, explaining that Mayweather never moved up recklessly in size and fought carefully within his limits. Crawford, by contrast, is attempting to take on a natural super middleweight who has carried his power through the divisions.
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning right now that Crawford, Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how, you know, his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. You know, I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So, you know, I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Many observers fear this fight could repeat the mistakes of Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That long-awaited showdown failed to meet expectations as both fighters played cautiously and delivered a tactical but uninspiring contest. Fans were left frustrated, feeling that years of hype had been wasted. The same risk exists here if Canelo and Crawford enter the ring overly cautious. Crawford may hesitate to exchange with the bigger man, while Canelo may choose to play it safe to avoid being countered. The worry is that
right now, boxing is hanging on a thread. If Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford pulls a Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather, there's no turning back. In this side of the pond, boxing is dead. Look, a lot of things is going to Saudi Arabia. David Benavidez, one of the phenoms in the sport of boxing, going to be performing in Saudi Arabia. Devin Haney going to be performing in Saudi Arabia. Just put this. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz, if it would have came to fruition, was going to happen in Saudi Arabia. Boots Ennis, and Tio could have happened in Saudi Arabia. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia was going to happen in Saudi Arabia. So a lot of these big fight that it was planned was not going to be here. It's not going to be here. So for networks to trust the sport of boxing once again, this fight between Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford, whoever you pick, whoever you support, is more than just wins and losses. Doesn't matter. The fight has to win. Doesn't matter if Canelo Alvarez, doesn't matter if Terence Crawford win, lose. The fight has to win. Just like when it was Hagler versus Hearns on a Monday, prime time. Prime time. That was a fight on a Monday, prime time, free TV. they put up a wonderful performance to this day. People still remember, and it was only 3 rounds. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, they better show out and entertain. Because if they lay an egg, boxing is dead.
Former champion Chris Algier provided valuable insight by drawing on his own experience. He explained that gaining size changes the entire feel of a fight. Movements slow down, timing becomes harder to maintain, and the added weight does not always translate into more punching power. Algier stressed that Crawford's world-class skill remains intact.
Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, you know, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you know, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I could say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, you know, all types of crazy numbers just to get people to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this, if you look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, and even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd. Floyd was 36 when they fought.
Fred Jenkins Jr. dismissed height as a decisive factor, pointing out that both fighters are relatively similar in that regard. However, he drew attention to weight as the true obstacle. Canelo is built to carry his size naturally, while Crawford is forcing his body to adjust to new muscle and mass. This adjustment could impact stamina and movement in ways that numbers on paper do not reveal. Jenkins' analysis suggests that Crawford's challenge is not simply fighting a bigger man, but learning how to function at a size that is unnatural for him.
It was good to Canelo. I'm pretty sure Crawford is studying and watched. His team and them is watching. And yes, they're really not like, you would say bigger because of the weight, but they actually like, what, how about that? Same height?
I think Crawford might be a little taller.
Yeah, but let's see, Canelo might be wider in mass, but you got to also add the fact that, you know, Crawford was a wrestler. People keep forgetting that part of it. He's naturally a strong physical guy, so I like that. I'm gonna just watch it as just like a fan because it could go either way. Crawford could outbox him, Canelo catch him, but I like that. But I'm gonna just watch it as a fan, just to study it. That's all.
Rob Iosta stepped in to defend Crawford against speculation surrounding his recent weight gain. Some critics questioned whether the transformation could be natural, hinting at possible performance-enhancing methods. Iosta dismissed those accusations outright, crediting Crawford's disciplined training camp and strict nutritional plan. He argued that Crawford's work ethic has always been elite, and that his physical changes are simply the result of dedication and conditioning. This perspective helps shift the focus back onto the fight itself rather than outside noise by protecting
Crawford. Okay. PEDs. You've been hearing a lot about Terence Crawford and Victor Conte as of late. And,
I've seen that. Yeah,
little people are making accusations. People are insinuating that Crawford is indeed doping, and based off of his recent size, and they're not used to Terence Crawford looking this big. And give me some insight into that. Give me some insight into fighters walk around weight, PEDs, and criticism of the guy that hasn't tested positive versus the guy in the same fight that's tested positive and team has tested positive.
Right. First, I don't think Crawford's taking anything. I don't think he is. I think just the size difference in what he walks around to what he's been looking lately. That is that's just something that possibly, that's how he walks around. Now, Crawford's physique, he's the type of guy that if he becomes heavy, it shows in his face, it shows in the obliques, but he still got abs, he still got definition in his chest. You know what I mean? So he could just possibly just look like that. Now, mind you, there's still a decent amount of time. We're still talking about 4 weeks. So I'm curious to see how either wherever he is, the cut goes, or however low he goes, how it gets constructed on the way up.
That's it for today's video.